Okay, so welcome back, everyone. This is the third topic in the series of Discover Yourself. The course is titled as Discover Yourself, which is a summary of Bhagavad Gita. Uh, Total, there are 7 sessions. Topic 1 was Search for Happiness. Topic 2, Does God Exist? Or Discovering the Roots. And topic 3, Who Am I? So, who am I? So, what's the need for discussing who am I? What's the need for understanding who am I? Uh, so, if you recollect points from previous two topics, search for happiness, and then does God exist? So, we discussed how everyone is suffering in this material world. Even though we are all thinking that we are happy, but we're all suffering in this material world. Some way or the other, we're all suffering in this material world. So we discussed the definition of a problem, and we saw the criteria for real problem. There are relative problems and real problems. So the real problems are Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, birth, death, old age, and disease. So these are common to all. Nobody wants them and nobody can escape from them. Right from the poorest person on the street to the topmost richest person in the world, nobody can escape from these four miseries. And we also discussed the threefold miseries. Tapatraya, threefold miseries, Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika. So problems created by our own body and mind, problems created by other living entities, problems created by
material, I mean floods like that.
Yes, material disasters, natural disasters. So threefold miseries. So nobody can escape from these problems. So life is, in one sense, life is full of problems. As Krishna says, Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. This material world is full of miseries and it's temporary. But everyone has this earnest desire to have permanent happiness. Everyone has this earnest desire to be happy eternally, to live eternally, and to be happy eternally. Nobody wants to die. If you ask anyone, nobody wants to die. And nobody wants to get old. Nobody wants to get sick. So we want to live eternally because that's the nature of the soul. Soul is eternal. But in the conditioned body, the soul cannot live eternally. The soul lives for certain number of years as per the condition of the body, and then the soul transmigrates to another body, and so on. But the jiva has this earnest desire for eternal happiness, to live eternally and to enjoy eternally. But what we have seen during topic 1 was despite all the technology and the scientific advancement, we are not happy. And then we started, and that's the problem definition. We are not happy and we want to be happy. That's the problem definition. And then before finding the solution, we need to do the root cause analysis. So we did the root cause analysis in session 2, the topic 2. Topic 2 is, does God exist, or discovering the roots. So if this material world is full of problems, so who is responsible for this mess? Who created this mess? Who created this mess? Then we started discussing about God. Does God exist? Whenever there is a problem, we turn to God. So we were inquiring if God has created this mess, if God has created these problems. So then we discussed the definition of God as the supreme creator, supreme proprietor, supreme enjoyer, and supreme controller. And then we also discussed how to know God. How to know God. We discussed three different methods of acquiring knowledge. Does anyone remember those three methods of acquiring knowledge? Mahi?
Yes. Pratyaksha Praman,
Yeah,
Sabda Praman, and
yeah.
the other one is the sense perception.
No, first one, Pratyaksha Praman is sense perception.
Okay. Anuman Praman.
Anuman Praman. Very good, very good. So, Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda.
Sabda Praman.
So, Pratyaksha Praman, these are the three different ways of acquiring knowledge, any knowledge in this material world. Not only about God or spirituality, but if you want to learn anything in this material world, these are the three methods. So, Pratyaksha Pramana is acquiring knowledge using our sense perception. So, we use our five senses to acquire knowledge. So you see something and you learn about that object. You smell an object and you realize that that there's a beautiful fragrance. You taste something and you feel that it is sweet or bitter or sour, salty, whatever. And you touch something and you figure out whether it is soft or hard and so on. So sense perception. Hare Krishna, Sudhakar and Jyoti. Hi. Samit, మీ అమ్మాయి పేరు నాకు మర్చిపోయాను. యషిత. Okay, Yashita. Okay. Hi. So, okay, so we have two people in person. We have some people on the call. So I was just doing a recap of what we discussed in the previous class. Today's topic is who am I? Okay, but before that, we're just doing a recap of previous two classes. Okay, let me connect the projector so that they can see everyone. Okay, good. No, same thing, same thing. Hello, Kalpana garu. Good, we have a good Telugu group then. So Kalpana, Sudhakar, Jyoti, there is Mahi, she's also Telugu. Sridhar, he's also Telugu. Good. I'm also Telugu. Maybe we should do the class in Telugu. So a couple of years ago, when I went to our hometown, Warangal, there's a nice temple, ISKCON temple in Warangal. Yeah, so nice temple. So the temple president, he asked me to give a lecture there in Telugu because all classes happen in Telugu there. So I'm not used to, giving class in Telugu. So it was a bit of a challenge in the beginning, but once I started, then it was okay. Yeah. Okay, so we were discussing about the three methods of acquiring knowledge. Okay, Shabda Praman, Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, and Shabda Praman. So Pratyaksha Praman is acquiring knowledge through senses, and Anuman Praman is through speculation, learning about something through speculation. So can you give an example, Madhav? For Anuman Praman.
It's like we collect data from some source and then we think something in our head and we make a conclusion based on that. So like Jupiter, right? We know Jupiter is much bigger than the Earth, and that red spot,
Yeah.
we know it's some percentage of Jupiter.
Yeah.
So now we know that it's bigger than that spot on Jupiter.
Okay, okay, that's good. So you have something to start with, and then you speculate more about it, and that evolves into a bigger thing, a bigger piece of information. So, so based on your past experience or based on the knowledge that you had in the acquired in the past, so you speculate on the current object, and then you speculate and come up with some theory. That is Anuman Praman. So the first Pratyaksha Praman and Anuman Praman both are imperfect methods of acquiring knowledge because our senses are imperfect. Our senses have limitations. Senses are imperfect, senses have limitations, and we tend to make mistakes. These are the three problems. These are three problems with our senses. They are imperfect, they have limitations, and we tend to make mistakes using our senses. So the first two methods are ruled out. They are imperfect. They are not the best methods to acquire knowledge about anything. The only choice that we have is Shabda Praman, sound vibration. Shabda Praman is sound vibration, acquiring knowledge by accepting some authority. And then we discussed two types of authorities, material authority and spiritual authority. Material authority is like scientists. You accept scientists as an authority and learn about various things in this universe. But they are also imperfect because science also keeps changing every day. As science progresses, they keep changing things. They change the definition of many things in science. So that is imperfect. Now, the only perfect method of acquiring knowledge is the spiritual authority, accepting a bona fide spiritual authority and learning from them. Inquire submissively and learn from a spiritual authority, guru. So when you say spiritual authority, it can be a guru or it can be a scripture, shastra. In the absence of guru, because if you go to some state like Iowa, there may not be a temple, there may not be any teachers available, there may not be a spiritual master available. So you take help of the books available, scriptures, because scriptures are none other than the literary incarnation of God. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, they are literary incarnation of God. Okay, someone joined. Adya. Adya, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. Adya, your name sounds familiar. Did I meet you in the temple at any time?
Yeah, we did. Maybe before Janmashtami.
Okay. Yeah. Name sounds familiar. Adya. Okay. Uh, so this is the first class you are joining?
No, actually, I viewed a couple of videos earlier, but yeah, this one's first for joining.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And if everyone can turn on the video, that'll be great. Mahi, Sridhar, Adya.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Let me also connect my phone so that you can see the people sitting here. Yes, yes. I'm recording, so everything. You'll see the slides, everything. Yeah. We don't see all of you on the screen, right? Let me check. Okay, now we are seeing, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is blocking. Okay, 1 second. Let's go. Okay, so yeah, so continuing the topic of acquiring knowledge. Out of the three methods, Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, and Shabda Praman. Shabda Praman is the best. Shabda Praman, so what are the two distinct qualities of Shabda Praman that make it perfect?
Inductive, deductive.
What, Mahi?
Inductive, deductive.
Yeah, inductive and deductive are the two methods of acquiring knowledge. So what scientists, inductive, deductive, these are the two methods in the Shabda Praman. What scientists follow is inductive. They start with something and then they evolve into, they speculate and evolve into a bigger thing. So that's inductive. That's Arohana. Arohana Paddhati. And then Avarohana Paddhati is different, is a descending order of acquiring knowledge. That is deductive. Spiritual authority is deductive, learning from a guru, learning from scriptures, Shastra is the deductive method of learning. So what are the two distinct qualities that make this deductive method of learning as a perfect method of learning? Two distinct qualities.
We have a process to realize the God. If you follow all the Vedas, right? You definitely can experience that. But in the case of scientific method, you cannot. They only say feel it, but you cannot experience it. So you can realize God.
Okay.
Follow this one.
Okay. So I'll give you a clue. Huh? Reasoning well. Two distinct qualities. So why this method, the deductive learning method, why it is perfect? Or in other words, remember in the last class, Mangesh asked a question, right? Why, how do I believe that Vedas are true? How do I believe that Vedas are true?
Yeah, you can actually experience it.
By following, like, yeah.
Experience that.
Okay, Tanuka, 1 second. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you follow Vedas correctly,
Yeah.
so you can experience it. So that's the, and also the sages also did it actually.
Yeah, correct. Excellent. Excellent. Good points. Tanuka, you are saying something?
Yes, the same thing. To follow the Vedas
Yeah.
and implement in your life, just to see if you're getting the same result that it is written in Vedas.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So you can verify the authenticity of the Vedas by following, by practicing and seeing, verifying the results by yourself. So that is Anubhava Praman. Okay. We discussed about Shabda Praman, but higher than Shabda Praman is Anubhava Praman. So you perceive this knowledge by your own direct self-realization. Okay. And then there are two qualities. So what you said is beautiful, but there are two distinct qualities why this method is perfect.
Because when we follow these Vedas and when we see the results, so we believe that this is the perfect to follow the things.
Okay.
Yeah, the scientific theory, there was two repeatable and those other things, right?
Observable and repeatable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those two things, because the scientists cannot do that.
Yeah.
Whereas can do that, I think. So.
Okay, that's also a good point. Anyone on the call? Tanuka?
No, I don't. I think you need to follow and just when you get the result, you start believing in it. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So even if you follow, so just like science, right? Science also has a process. You know,
Yes.
if you follow the process, you can verify the results. But is science or the inductive method, is it perfect? No, it is not perfect. Why it is not perfect? Because it keeps changing. Okay. Whereas this deductive method of learning, it does not change. It does not change with time. It does not change with time. It is timeless wisdom. That is number one quality. Timeless wisdom. So we saw that, right? Cow dung is antiseptic. It is timeless wisdom. Cow dung is antiseptic. If somebody says, for example, Samit may say that, oh no, maybe it was true in grandpa's time, not now. But we are in America, you know, modern world. We don't even see cow dung. So we don't believe that cow dung is antiseptic. So Samit may say it's not true. Or Madhav also may say it's not true. Hare Krishna. So, but we have been seeing it was true during our grandparents' time, our great grandparents' time, our father's time, our children's time, and time infinity in future. So past, present, and future. So it is timeless wisdom. And that time is not only in this age, not only in this Kali Yuga. It was true in all other yugas. Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga, all four yugas, and all cycles of these yugas, time infinity. Okay, it is true. That is number one. And what is number two? The second distinct quality of a deductive method of learning, why it is perfect. So the two qualities that make this process of learning as the perfect method of learning. So one is, this is timeless wisdom. And then second one?
To learn from gurus by reading through Vedas.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that is a process of learning. You know, when we say deductive method of learning, you accept a guru and inquire submissively and learn from him. That's the process. But why this process? The question is, why this process is perfect? What are the two distinct qualities that make this process perfect? So one is, this is timeless wisdom. And the other one is, you're almost there, you're close. Yes, perfect. Wow, Sudhakar. Sudhakar and Jyoti.
What is the answer?
Being very intuitive. So this knowledge came directly from God. It is not man-made. Not man-made. Apaurisheya. Okay. Anything that is man-made, it is flaw. There are flaws in that. Whereas something that is coming from God, it is flawless. Okay. It does not change from time to time, and it is perfect. Okay. So now, having discussed that, let's move on to today's topic. Who am I? So as we saw in the first session, right? First topic, search for happiness. So we are not happy in this material world. We are suffering all the time, but we want to be happy. I want to live eternally and I want to enjoy eternally. So before we can find a solution to the problem. So we have the problem statement, and then we did the root cause analysis, figuring out if God has created this problem, this mess or not. And then we are coming up with a solution now. Okay. But we first need to understand, who am I? When you say, I want to be happy, you first need to define who is that I. Who is that I? Then only you can come up with a solution. So who am I? Madhav? Part and parcel of God. Okay.
I'm not body of mind.
Okay. Madhav, who are you? You don't know? You're Madhav.
We are just like a vessel.
Spiritual world also.
I'm a soul.
Is it like we are vessel?
We are what? Vessel?
Vessel.
Okay. What kind of vessel?
That we need to do our own work on karma, and we just do our duty. That's it.
Okay. Anyone else?
Hi. Who am I? It's like I'm a soul. I'm a peaceful soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'm individual.
Huh?
Individual. Yeah. I have
Individual?
both set of experience.
Individual.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. Individual. Yeah. Okay. Any other points? Sridhar, you're quiet.
God's creation.
God's creation. Okay, good. I was about to say that people who are quiet, they don't get prasadam. Yeah, then Sridhar immediately, he read my mind and he immediately spoke. Okay. Mahi, what do you say?
I don't know, Srinivas.
You don't know. Okay. Okay. Yeah, just say that you are Mahi. Okay. Okay. So oftentimes we identify with these definitions, right? I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a businessman, software engineer, I'm a rich businessman, I'm a designer, I'm a sportsman, I'm a musician, husband or wife. Wow, nice pictures, huh? Father or son. By the way, looking at this Sachin Tendulkar's picture, I just got remembered of something. We were discussing definition of God, right? In the previous topic, does God exist? What's the definition of God, right? So when it was the era of Sachin Tendulkar, there were huge, billboards in India that say, cricket is my religion and Sachin is my God. Cricket is my religion and Sachin is my God. That was the, definition of God.
That is
People
true,
have.
right?
Huh?
That is true, right?
That is true?
Yeah.
Is that the definition of God?
No, like he possesses some qualities of God. Like he in that cricket, right? He excelled at.
As your wife says, he possesses some qualities. He is part and parcel of God, but he is not God. Yeah. So just like ocean and a drop of ocean. Drop of ocean. Yeah.
In that cricket, no one can play better than that Sachin. So that's why
Still.
he got the quality of God, right? So
Yeah. He got qualities of God, but he is not God. Yeah. So he's a minute particle of God. Yeah. So Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, all the living entities are part and parcel of mine. So we all have qualities of God, but in a minute quantity. Just like water drop and ocean. Water drop is also salty. Ocean is also salty. Water drop has all the qualities of ocean, but it's minute, and ocean is it's gigantic. It's so vast. American, Indian, Japanese, Chinese. Yeah, even this also, right? I'm Hindu, I'm Muslim, I'm Christian. So 90% of the Indians, they think, the so-called Hindus, they think they are Hindus. Their religion is Hindu. Okay, now there are more. Andhra, Telangana, Bengali, Delhi. But we all know these are all temporary bodily designations. Yeah. So just like how the body changes from birth to childhood to youth to old age and death, similarly, all these occupations, they are temporary. So you may be something in this life, and in the next life, you may be something else. These are all temporary bodily designations. So if I am not any of these, then who am I? And the need for discussing this topic, the need for discussing who am I is, as we said in that example, right? That ocean and water drop example. So in topic 2, we were trying to discuss who God is. We started off with does God exist? And then we understood the criteria for God, definition for God. And then before we can understand God, first we need to understand ourselves. So if you understand the minute particle, then you will have an idea of the gigantic particle, the big particle. So if you understand the water drop, then you'll have an understanding of the ocean. Because it is humanly impossible to understand ocean. So if you simply understand the qualities and all the attributes of one water drop of the ocean, then you have understanding of the entire ocean. It's the same in quality, but in quantity, it's much bigger. So similarly, before we try to understand about God, we need to understand about ourselves. Who am I? So if you understand who am I, then we can understand more about God. So all the scientists, they say that this body evolved out of some chemicals. This body evolved out of some chemicals. So there was a scientist, who analyzed the constituents of a human body, and he said the body is merely a composition of some chemicals. Or he said life actually came out of these chemicals. and the total worth of these chemicals is $20. So, so if somebody asks you, how much are you worth of? $20. Very sad, unfortunately, that's the value of our individual. Huh?
And why do we pay so much to go to the hospital?
Why do we pay so much to the hospital? Yeah, good question. We can ask this question to the doctors when we go to the hospital.
Yeah, if I'm worth $20, why are you asking?
Yeah, why are you charging so much, right?
You replace all my chemicals.
Yeah,
I'll give you $20.
yeah. In fact, I'll buy you all the chemicals. You give me a new body, total new body, rather than doing surgery or doing some treatment. I'll give you new chemicals and you just give me a new body. So there was this joke, right? So there was this person who was drowning in an ocean. Okay, and there were a group of friends. They went near the ocean, and then one person who thinks he's an expert, so he went into the ocean and tried to swim, but because of the high tides, so he could not swim, and then he was about to drown. And then the people, all of his friends, they saved him somehow. And then not his friends, the lifeguard, he saved the person who was drowning. And then the person came and gave $20 to that lifeguard. And then the lifeguard asked, "Oh, only $20 for all my hard work to save your life?" Then that person replied, "I learned in my Discover Yourself course that the body is only worth of $20. So,
He did justice, right?
huh?
He did justice.
Yeah, he did justice to the course. So definitely we are not worth of $20, That's why when there is a accident on the road, right, on the freeway, so the police make every attempt to rescue, to save that life. They can even send helicopter, ambulance, or whatever is possible. They stop the entire traffic, and they send so many vehicles, ambulance, fire, so many things. They do every possible thing to save that life. That is a proof that life is not just coming from chemicals, and the body is not worth of $20. So we are not the body, but we are the spirit soul. We are the spirit soul. The body is temporary and spirit soul is eternal. So this diagram here, it explains how the body, how the jiva undergoes changes from birth.
Oh, not able to see the slides.
Am I not sharing? Okay.
No.
I don't like.
Light is okay. Yeah. I think I'm not sharing. Okay.
Yeah, now we can see. Yeah.
So as you can see in this diagram, the life goes through changes from birth to childhood to youth to old age and death. And then the soul transmigrates to another body in the next life. Okay, so we are saying we are not this body, but we are the soul. But how do we prove this? How do we prove this? Any ideas?
Body expires, but soul is changing.
But how do you prove that? How do you prove that there is life after death? When we say soul transmigrates at the time of death, soul transmigrates from one body to another body.
Not immediately. Right?
It's kind of immediate. Yeah. So the soul, at the time of death, so many things happen. The immediate thing is the soul wanders around the house at the place of death for 12 to 13 days. And then for the next 1 year, the soul goes on a journey to the next planet. It could be a lower planet or higher planet, but soul goes on a journey for 1 year. There are 12 Yamapuris. One month, one Yamapuri. Yamapuri is like a, like a toll gate, checkpoint. So, so soul goes through these 12 Yamapuris, 12 gates, one per month, before it is decided what is the destination for the soul. Is it a higher planet or lower planet? Okay. Okay, so we are saying that there is a life after death, but how do we prove that? How do we prove that? Adya, anything that you want to share?
No idea.
Yeah, so how do you prove the existence of soul, or how do you prove that there is life after death? Because Christians, they believe only in one life. They don't believe in life after death. So how do you prove that there is life after death? Okay, anyone? Mahi?
No idea, but my grandmother said your grandfather is like your son. So she said, I mean similarities.
Your what is that? Say again.
Similarities. I mean
Similarities. Okay. Okay. The son is like father, and father is like
yes.
father, and so on.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have that, but I don't know much about that.
Okay, that is because of genes. They inherit the qualities of features through genes.
Yes.
You said that
Yeah, Madhav.
you said that the Shabda Brahman was perfect way of gaining knowledge, right?
Mhm.
So if this is considered gaining knowledge to Shabda Brahman, that means it's perfect.
It is perfect, but we have to verify, right? And see, right now we don't have strong faith in Shabda Praman. We are starting with the assumption that it is perfect. But before we get strong faith on this, we need to verify. Yeah. Okay. So let us see how do we prove that. So there are 4 different ways that we can prove the existence of soul. One is intuition. So what is intuition?
It's hard to explain.
Is
Intuition.
it like a sixth sense? Intuition?
One second. Sudhakar?
It's not through our senses or something, like it has a direct knowledge.
It has direct
Beyond
knowledge.
that senses,
Okay.
knowledge.
Okay. Anyone?
Beyond memory,
Beyond memory.
Beyond memory.
Yeah.
Okay.
through deduction.
Through deduction. Okay. Yeah. So online somebody was saying, was that Tanuka or Mahi?
Tanuka.
Tanuka, yeah.
Yeah, I think like it is like more sixth sense, or the feeling that you get, it comes from inside, from your soul. Sometimes something it's coming in your mind, and it's getting connected like a dotted line. You get connected to it.
Okay. Okay, anyone else?
Intuition is like something out of your mind without continuous reasoning.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so intuition is, it's a process of understanding something without much without much an effort, without a conscious effort, and reasoning. So you don't ask too many questions, or you don't go through a elaborate process. You just understand about something very quickly. So it's basically a process of understanding something without a conscious effort and reasoning. So you don't put some time and effort to understand something, or you don't ask too many questions to understand something. So something clicks. That's what they say, right? All of a sudden, something clicks. That's your intuition. Some people call it a sixth sense, or whatever, you name it differently, gut feeling, or whatever, right? So different names. But this is the process of understanding something without much reasoning and without much conscious effort.
So how do you get that?
How do you get that?
Yeah, is it by reading or something? Or how do you get that information?
Sometimes we feel it.
Oh, really?
But his question is, how do
Something
you?
is going to happen. Something going to happen, bad or good. Also, sometimes we feel.
But how that happens?
Sixth sense.
He's asking how that happens.
Yeah, I think what Dr. Guru is asking is how we can consciously do it, but that's the opposite of the definition itself. It's like spontaneous, right? You cannot forcefully do it with an effort.
So it happens. That's a good question. So how does this intuition work? Now we know the definition of intuition, but how does it work? So intuition works based on the images in the mind. So mind is a repository. Mind is a repository of everything that you see. Whenever you see anything, the mind takes a snapshot of it and keeps in the hard disk. Okay, so just imagine mind as a hard disk full of everything that you see, that you have seen so far in your life. Everything, every small thing, big thing, everything, whatever you have seen, it takes a snapshot and keeps in the repository. So, and the speed of mind is faster than light. Okay, so whenever you encounter any situation, whenever you have whenever you are exposed to a new object or new situation, based on the images that you have in your mind, you get some intuition. You get some intuition. So it's based on whatever repositories, whatever is there in the repository. Yeah. So that's the first method of proving the existence of the soul, intuition. So let's see how through intuition, how we can prove, or how we can understand the existence of soul. So we all say, right, all the time, my nose, my ears, my hand, my shirt, my body, and so on. So when we are saying my, so who is that my? Even for the body, we say my body. I don't say I body, right? We say my body. That means the body belongs to something else. Okay, we can say, when we say my nose, my ears, my hand, my shirt. Okay, so you can say that, you can think that they all belong to the body. My nose means nose belongs to body. My ears means ears belong to the body. My hand belongs to the body. My shirt belongs to body. But when you say my body, that means body must belong to something else, right? And that is the soul.
My body means it's my body, right? What is something else I not? I say my body, it's mine, right?
No, when we say my body,
Yeah.
see, for example, when you say my hand,
It's mine.
so what does it mean?
It's mine.
It's mine. Mine means it belongs to the body. The hand belongs to body.
Okay.
So when you say mine, that means the hand belongs to body. It belongs to mine. That means it belongs to my body, right? But when you say my body, so who does the body belong to? Body belongs to something else. Other than body, there is something else. Beyond the body, there is something else. And that is the soul. Okay. Okay. Now, since you asked my body, right? Now I can say my soul. Does that mean there is something beyond the soul also? We all say, right? My soul. Now we explained my hand, my body, we understood those. Now, how do you explain my soul?
Then soul belongs to God.
Huh?
No, I think it's wrong. Only one. You cannot say my. You should remove my.
No, what we say? We say, right? We say my soul. We say my soul.
Yeah, that's a foolish thing.
No, it's not. Huh?
There is something higher than our soul.
There is no higher than soul. It's only one.
Soul is the highest. So the anatomy is, there are 5 senses, and then there is mind, false ego, intelligence, and then soul. So higher than intelligence is soul. Soul is the highest. So all these things belong to the soul.
Srinivas? Hello?
Mahi, 1 second. Yeah.
We say Paramatma, right?
Yeah.
It's more than Atma, like higher than soul. That's what I'm thinking.
No, when all the time when we are saying my, you are the owner. Okay, you are the owner. You are the owner of the hand. You are the owner of the nose. You are the owner of the ear, and you are the owner of the body. Okay.
That doesn't really answer my soul.
My soul, because we are identifying wrongly with our mind or false ego.
Okay.
Yeah, that's you have everything, you own everything. That's right.
So somebody asked a question, okay, like this. Okay, when we are saying my body, that means there is something beyond body. Now, when we are saying my soul, that means there is something beyond soul. So, which is technically not correct, right? Which is technically not correct. So then they argued saying that, okay, similarly, my body also is technically not correct. Just like when my soul is technically not correct, that person was arguing saying that my body is also not correct. Okay, then I told him that, okay, so the body at the time of death, the soul can say that my body, I have left my body. Okay, but the body cannot say that I have left my soul or my soul has left the body. The body is dead. Body cannot say anything. Body cannot say that my soul has left the body.
Yeah, it's the end of the body, so there is no body at all.
Yeah, but the soul can say that I left my body. I left my body. Okay. Mahi, you are saying something.
Yeah, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Is also mind? I mean, is soul have brain, thinking?
Does soul have brain?
Yes.
No, brain is gross material. It's a gray matter. It's a 400 milligrams, I think. Milligrams or grams? I don't know. So grams? It should be grams, right? Otherwise, with grams only, we are not capable of doing so many things. We are not very efficient. If it is milligrams, then it's almost non-existent. So 400 grams of gray matter. So it's gross. Okay. Whereas mind is subtle. So mind is a part of subtle body. Okay. And the soul Soul is beyond this gross body and subtle body.
So soul is not thinking, right?
Soul has thinking, feeling, willing, everything. Wherever there is consciousness, the symptoms of consciousness are thinking, feeling, and willing. Okay, wherever there is, there are these three symptoms. That means there is consciousness, and that means there is soul.
It don't have brain, right? I mean, it don't have. So
it has knowledge. It has knowledge, and
Okay.
that knowledge is in a different repository. It's not like our gross, gross object brain.
Okay.
It has a spiritual body. Soul has a spiritual body, which is full of knowledge, and that knowledge is stored in something else, not our brain, or not mind.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And so that is intuition. Is it clear? So one way of proving the existence of soul is by intuition. Now, next method of explaining or proving the existence of soul is through common sense. Common sense, which is very uncommon, right? Common sense is very uncommon these days. So how do we explain? So what is common sense, and how do we use common sense in this context? This picture is a clue here. So somebody died, and everybody is crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Common sense is how you react for that situation, particular situation.
Mhm.
So everyone commonly reacts the same way. If you laugh in that situation, it's like uncommon, right? That people say he's mad or something.
No.
Soul is, context is soul. Right?
Body and soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Context is soul. That picture, from the picture you should say how the soul exists.
So whenever somebody dies, what do we say?
Rest in peace.
Hmm?
Rest in peace.
No. What do we say? How do you convey that message? Let's say somebody in India passed away. So how do they convey the message to us? What do they type in WhatsApp? Huh? No, what do they type in WhatsApp in English?
Passed away.
Just passed away?
He's going to God.
Huh?
He's going to God.
He's
On
going
his journey to God.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they write he passed away or he passed away, right?
No.
He passed away, she passed away. So if that he or she is body and not the soul, the body is right there. The body is
Soul is-
right there, right?
Breathing is not there.
Yeah, you understand? So we get a message saying that he or she passed away. If that he or she or I or you is body, the body is there.
Still there.
The body is still there. It's lying there.
But no sound.
Action.
But sound is faster. No,
Yeah.
Sound is faster.
Yeah.
Battery is there, battery is there.
No, sound is faster than body.
So that means we are not just this body.
You're not.
Okay. When we say so and so person has passed away, that means he is not just the body. Something else has passed away. It is not the body. It is something beyond the body.
Soul doesn't have any death or something. Soul is always.
That's a good question. We'll discuss that. Soul doesn't have death, right? Yeah. Soul doesn't have death. That's good. Yeah. We'll discuss that. So when
not
we,
passed away.
No,
Huh?
soul did not die here, body, right?
Yeah, body only died.
yeah.
From that you should say soul exists.
Soul went away somewhere.
Yeah, soul.
Yeah.
Body is there, but something went away. Like it's not working out.
Soul has left the body. Soul has left the body. Okay. Just understand that soul has left the body. Okay. This is common sense. Now let us see what Bhagavad Gita says, okay, about this passing of the soul from the body. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at time of death. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 13. So there is that verse, right? Famous verse. Does anyone remember? Dehinosmin yadha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. Dehinosmin yadha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. Just like how the body undergoes changes from birth to childhood to youth to old age. Similarly, the soul transmigrates from one body to another at the time of death. Okay. So even though body changes, the person remains the same. Okay. So we all know that the body changes from birth to, the body that we saw, that we are seeing now is not the same body when we were in youth. And the body that we had in youth was not the same body that we had in childhood. And it was not the same body that was born. And every 7 years, the whole body changes. Every cell of your body changes completely. Every 7 years. So previously scientists were saying the cells in the brain do not change. But now they came back and corrected that, saying that even the cells in the brain also change. So you become, after 7 years, you are like a new person, completely new person. So the brain cells change does not mean you forget what was there before.
Next question we got.
Yeah,
When we are
you
done.
don't forget. So you don't say after 7 years.
Able to remember the thing.
After 7 years, you don't say, Sudhakar, who are you?
In the meanwhile, also after 3.5 years, I almost forgot half of the stuff.
Yeah.
In the next.
Yes.
3.5
Yeah.
years.
Meanwhile, also, right? Before 7 years, also. Yeah. And we behave that way, right? We don't remember much of it anyway.
So my leg has already changed. This belongs to somebody else.
Yeah. We are anyway suffering from loss of memory. So
Right.
that is because of bodily changes. So
Loss of memory is sometimes good for us. We will forget all the bad things and we will be happy.
okay. So just like the changes that the body undergoes through the lifetime, similarly, the body takes birth, it grows, it dwindles, and then it dies. These are the different stages the body undergoes. Okay, so next method of proving the existence of soul. So what are the first two methods? Intuition and then common sense. Okay. Now the third method is, okay, so before we discuss about, before we name the third method, so how to see the poison?
Color changes.
When I say how to see the poison, how do you understand that this is poison? You can also think it's coffee, right?
Unless one person drink and die.
Yes, very good. Symptoms, right?
Yeah.
Through symptoms. Okay, through symptoms. So, for example, when somebody has a fever, they exhibit some symptoms. When somebody has some other disease, they exhibit some symptoms. So, looking at the symptoms, the family member knows that there is something wrong, and then they take him to the doctor. And the doctor looking at the symptoms and doing some tests, they conclude what is the problem. So most of the things we understand by looking at the symptoms. Similarly, we can perceive the soul through its symptoms. So wherever there is a presence of soul, there is consciousness. And wherever there is consciousness, there are those three factors: thinking, feeling, and willing. We all do these things, right? We think, we feel, and we do things. That's a willingness. Willingness is desire. Yeah, desire to do things. So the analogy given here is, can you see the sun? Samit, what do you say? Do you see sun? So we see, whenever we see the sun, that means we say there's a daylight and it's a daytime. And in the absence of sun, it's night. There's darkness and it's nighttime. Similarly, when there is soul, that means we are conscious. We are conscious and we exhibit those symptoms. In fact, that's the definition of soul, actually. Okay, that's the definition of soul. Soul is symptom of consciousness is the presence of soul. Okay. Thinking, feeling, and willing. So before we do anything, these are the three things. It's a three-step process that we go through. We think about something, we feel about it, and then there is a willingness to do it. Okay, it's a three-step process. And only when there is consciousness, we are able to do this. And as soon as the soul leaves the body, there's no consciousness and there are no emotions, no thinking, feeling, willing, no emotions, no experience, and no desires. So this is another verse from Bhagavad Gita. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Bhagavad Gita 2.17. So there are 8.4 million species of life. We discussed in topic 1, right? Search for happiness. There are 8.4 million species of life. And there is consciousness in all these species. The trees have consciousness, the animals have, insects have consciousness, aquatics have consciousness, human beings have consciousness. So all the moving things, all the animate things have consciousness. The inanimate things like rocks, they don't have consciousness. Body appears to be alive, but that is so due to the presence of the soul. Because soul by nature is very active. That's why we do so many active things. We are active all the time and we do so many bodily actions. That's why we cannot sit idle, right? Even an old person, if you bring your parents and you ask them to sit at home and relax and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, they cannot do that, right? Because soul by nature is very active. Soul always wants to do something. Okay, and that is exhibited in the form of bodily actions. Just like car is the body and the driver is the soul. this body is the vehicle for the soul, and the actual driver is the soul. Yeah, Tanuka said, right? We are like a vessel. We are like a vessel,
Yes.
vehicle.
Yeah.
So this body, when we say there we, that is body. It's not the soul. The body is the vehicle or vessel for the soul.
The soul just does those three things. That's it. It doesn't do much. Like thinking, feeling. I thought soul is infinite. Like it can do many things.
It can do many things, but before you do anything in that infinite number of things, this is the 3-step process. Anything that you want to do. Say, how did you marry Jyoti? Tell me. Explain the details.
Why the tragedy?
How did you marry her?
Just kidding.
What was the process that you went through?
So it boils down to those three things.
Yeah.
He felt like
First you saw her picture, right? And then you thought about it.
thought about.
Yeah. Okay. Is she looking beautiful, or is she meeting my expectations? You went through some thought process, thinking. Okay. And then you started feeling about her, about feeling for her, And then there's a desireness, willingness, desire to marry. Anything, you name anything. You want to eat prasadam now, right? I'm sure you must be.
First you plan, think about it.
Yeah.
And then willingness.
Last week,
Yeah.
you want to eat something. అది తినాలి అని మీకు ఆలోచనే కదా ఫస్ట్ వచ్చేది ఏదైనా.
Yeah. Soul is capable of doing many things, infinite number of things. The capacity of soul is higher than the sun planet. The capacity of the soul, or the potential of the soul, is higher than the capacity of the sun. Now, just to give an example of the capacity of the sun. One ray of the sun, okay, the heat coming from one ray of the sun is sufficient to sustain the livelihood in this material world throughout this age, throughout this Kali Yuga, let's say, right? Throughout this Kali Yuga, 432,000 years. The heat coming from one ray of the sun is sufficient to sustain the livelihood. Livelihood means the life of our human beings, animals, trees, all the plants that we see, everything. We need energy, right? From sun. Energy comes from sun. And there is so much else also, right? The electricity and so many things, the heat. Now, oftentimes, I always wonder, okay, in America, all the shops, all the homes, they always keep lights on all the time. I always think, oh, they are wasting so much of energy, we are running out of energy very soon. But no, one ray, the heat coming from one ray of sun is sufficient to maintain the humankind throughout this Kali Yuga. And that is the power of sun. That means sun is more powerful than that one ray, right? Now I'm saying soul is more powerful than that sun. So soul is not just limited to these three things. Soul is powerful, capable of doing many things, but anything that you can do, it goes through this 3-step process: thinking, feeling, and willing. Yeah.
The body has the limitations, not the sun.
Body has the limitations. Yeah. Now, what is the proof that soul is powerful than sun? How can we say that soul is powerful than sun itself?
If you do japam with our soul, maybe we will achieve more than that.
Okay, this is a question to think about and come up with answers before the next class. Okay, question is, what is the proof or how do we believe that soul is more powerful than sun, the sun planet? Okay.
No one can destroy, no one can finish. So you cannot cut it with a knife or you cannot shoot with a gun.
Okay.
Yeah, so that means it's powerful.
The qualities are.
Yeah, sun also you cannot shoot or you cannot cut with sword, or you cannot moisten with
But I can
water.
travel faster than light, and so suppose if I'm sitting here, I can go to India and come back like not in meditation mode, in meditation.
Okay.
So you can go fast and come back, but sun, it is faster than sun, right? The mind of the,
Okay.
yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah, that's a powerful, right?
Yeah.
I have one quality greater than sun.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
I like this.
You're saying something?
To this
Madhav.
point, the sun takes 8 minutes to get its light from sun to here.
It takes 8 minutes for sun to.
For the light
Yeah.
from sun to get to the
It takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to reach to Earth. Okay. Yeah.
Soul
Whereas mind can
soul-
travel faster than that. Yeah.
Soul can reach beyond sunlight.
Soul
Like
can
it
reach beyond
travel far.
sunlight.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Yeah. Since you all came up with the answers, let's conclude that here only instead of waiting until the next class. Yeah, these are all perfect, answers. And more perfect is more perfect than all these things is there is life in the sun planet. There are people living in the sun planet. Sun god Vivaswan. He is living in the sun planet. That means he must be more powerful than the sun itself. So unless a person is,
Why would he be more powerful than the sun?
because he has a particular type of body, the soul in that conditioned state has a particular type of body to be able to reside in that environment with that tremendous heat. Okay, so you need a particular type of body. And soul in that conditioned state is living in that sun planet.
In North Antarctica, right? It's very coldest place, right?
Yeah.
I will say that guy is greater than sun. Sun has heart, right?
Uh-huh.
I can also say that the people living in North Antarctica, very coldest, right? You
Yeah.
cannot survive there.
Yeah.
I will say that one is greater than sun. Or both are equal, I think. So, right?
No, the power of sun, I told you, right? One ray of sun is capable of maintaining the mankind for all the years of Kali Yuga. And now imagine, extrapolate that and imagine the power of sun. That is even much more powerful.
Yeah.
So the ability to live in Antarctica, that is nothing. Compared to the power of sun, this is nothing. Yeah.
Sunrays comes, the ice melts, right? So sunrays come, ice melt actually.
No,
The life in that cold environment. Yeah. Yeah.
This is extreme hot and this is extreme cold.
That is hot and cold, but the capacity of or the magnitude of that heat is much more compared to magnitude of this cold. So when the body dies, no feelings, no emotions. It's the same body lying there, but after the soul is gone, no emotions. For the soul, this is another verse from Bhagavad Gita. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. So this verse from Bhagavad Gita. Najayate vriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavitava na bhuya ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. So let me go back. Okay, we'll look at. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, it explains the attributes of the soul. Attributes of the soul. Go back so many slides. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. Okay. He has not come into being, does not come into being.
Without soul, we can't take birth.
The body has birth and death, but not the soul. Soul is eternal. The definition of eternality is no beginning, no end. Yeah.
That keep changing the body.
So soul, when it takes a body as a vessel or vehicle, right? Then the body has birth and death. And at the time of death, the soul transmigrates from one body to another body. But the soul itself does not have birth. There's no birth, there's no death. There's no beginning, there's no end. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. Najayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya. Ajo nitya shashvato yam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Soul is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain and the body is slain. That means soul cannot be killed, but the body can be killed. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 20. And this is further explained in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 22. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So this shloka from Vasam sijirnani yata vihaya navani gruhnati naro parani tadha sharira tadha shariran. You remember this verse? Madhav. Vasam sijirnani. Vasam sijirnani yata vihaya naro parani. You open that, Jyoti?
No.
Okay. Tata sharirani. Vasam sijirnani yata vihaya navani gruhnati naro parani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So when you discard your old garments and buy new clothes, you are happy, right? Similarly, when you discard old body, which is really old and sick, and get a new body, it should be a celebration. You should be happy. So, but sadly, people cry. When somebody dies, people cry. I mean, you can cry out of emotions. You have so much love for that person. You can cry out of those feelings and emotions, but you should not cry out of attachment for the body. You should not cry for the attachment of the body. Even Arjuna cried when his son died. After hearing all Bhagavad Gita, when his son died, even Arjuna cried. I mean, if you're not crying, that means you don't have emotions.
Okay, when you have attachment, then only emotions will come, right? Same, right?
So attachment, there is a material bodily attachment and spiritual attachment. So bodily attachment is thinking that I am this body, or that person who has died, his body. Because the body has come to an end, the person has come to an end. The person's existence has come to an end. And then you are doomed. You have emotions, but if you have body, if those emotions are coming from bodily attachment, you are doomed because the person's existence has come to an end, right? Because the body has come to an end. But if you have spiritual attachment and you think that that person is eternal, okay, so that person has not died, the soul has not died, he's eternal, right? And then you can think of what you can do for him. So in our temple congregation,
Soul doesn't have any relationship with anyone, right?
soul doesn't have any relation with the bodies. Yeah. So for example, in the conditioned state, let's say the person who has died, he is a husband of the wife who is still living. Okay. Now, when the soul from that husband's body has left the body, that soul doesn't have anything to do with that bodily relation, that wife and husband relation. The soul who has left, it will take a new body. It will transmigrate to new body. It does not have any relation with the wife and husband relation in this life. Yeah. Now, back to the slides. Yeah, I was telling that example, right? So in our temple congregation, there was this person whose son passed away at the age of 13 or 14 because of some cancer. Okay. And then obviously, right, naturally, you feel so depressed when your child dies at such an young age. And then he came to the temple and asked Harilas Maharaj, how should I take this situation? I know that we are not the body, we are the soul, but still, I'm so I'm so depressed because my son died at such an young age. How should I take this? How should I overcome this situation and sorrow? Then Harilas Maharaj told him that your son has not died. Your son has not died. The temporary body has died, but your son as an eternal soul, he has not died. So you asked a question, right? The soul, does the soul have relations? Okay. So in the spiritual world, yes, we have these relations. We have these relations with Krishna. We have these relations with Krishna. We have parental relation, friendly relation as a lover or husband or wife. We have all these relations in the spiritual world. So Harilas Maharaj said, yes, your son is still living eternally in his spiritual existence. He's still living, and you can pray for his spiritual well-being, because the soul has left the material body, and now soul has to find a new body. So if you have spiritual attachment, if you have compassion for the soul of your son, then you pray and wish for the higher destination for the soul of your son. That is the best you can do. Instead of lamenting for the loss of this temporary body, you can pray, and that praying is not just 1 day or 2 days or 1 year, right? It's a continuous prayer. Every day you pray, every day, and that's what we all do, right? It's not only like at the time of death you say R.I.P. Rest in peace, and then we forget about it after that. So we keep the person's picture in the house, and then we pray all the time.
Yearly once.
Yeah, that means you still have Yeah, you do all the karma kanda rituals, and then you pray all the time. That means you still have emotions and love for that person who has departed from this body. That means you are seeing that person as a eternal soul. And when you
We are
pray,
doing all these ceremonies, that soul will accept these things.
if you perform these ceremonies, will the soul get benefit out of this? Yes, that's the purpose of performing these ceremonies. Especially the first 1 year rituals. They do every month Shraddha ceremony, right? They do every month Shraddha ceremony because the soul goes through 1 Yamapuri per month. There are 12 Yamapuris, and the soul has to pass through 12 Yamapuris. That's why all the charities that you do during this first 1 year, after the soul has left the body, if you do all these charities and all these ceremonies, then the soul will get food, and also soul will get some punya karma. Even though the soul has not, that person has not performed any punya karma in the lifetime when he was living, but because of the ceremonies and charities that you are performing, the soul will get the benefit. Yeah, that's the purpose. That's why they say you have to donate a cow, because the cow donation is the highest thing, right? Godana is the highest thing. Instead of performing so many small charities, if you perform the biggest thing, the biggest charity, Godana and Brahmana Dana, then all these benefits will go to that soul who is on the journey to the next destination. And if you perform these ceremonies and charities, soul will get a higher destination. Otherwise, soul will naturally go to lower destination, Patala Loka. That's why it's very important to perform these ceremonies. And it is very important for a person, for the children, to be present where that person has died. If it is a house or wherever that place, if it is in America, London, or India, wherever that person has died, it is very important for the children to be in that place. First 12-13 days, the soul wanders in the same place where that soul has left the body. So it's important to be in that place.
So in that example, like father is doing worshipping of higher, right?
Yeah.
For his son, right? But his life will be wasted because he cannot realize the God in his life, right? Because he's spending all the time for his son.
Yeah.
And what about his spiritual part? He will be neglected and his life will be wasted, right?
No. Praying for that soul of the son is one part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing benefit for
and he'll be praying for himself also, right? And he'll be doing sadhana for himself also. And by his sadhana, he will liberate. You can, if you are sincere in your sadhana, in your bhakti yoga, if you are very sincere, you can liberate 7 generations before and 7 generations after.
Yeah, that's correct. But my prayer is only to benefit my son, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not praying for God. So there are so many prayers, right? You can pray for God to get realization or something. But I'm praying only for my son, okay?
You're praying for your son so that your son will get a higher destination.
Yeah.
He will go back to God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suppose
and you will also pray for yourself, right?
Okay.
Yeah. You'll pray for yourself. You'll pray for your wife. You'll pray for your children. You'll pray for everybody.
You will connect more with God while praying, while thinking.
Yeah, that is one part of whatever you are doing. See, there is a big thali. Okay. So eating gulab jamun is one part of that. But there are so many things that you will be eating from that thali.
And also, like if you are a pure devotee and you pray, you can benefit so many people, like the Lord Maharaj did.
Yeah. And not only your family members, you can pray to other family members also.
Yeah.
Entire population of Earth.
Yeah.
Universe you can pray for.
Yeah.
The sages did like that, right? Like they sit at the mountain, but they can transmit all those energies to it.
Yeah, Loka Kalyanam, right? They say Loka Kalyanam.
Bless our kids and etc. Right? Even if the sounds go higher places.
Sound? Sound.
No.
Soul. Soul.
If soul goes higher place, higher
Higher planets. Yeah.
It even blesses our kids and the generation.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So in that example also, suppose if some bad guy did some killing or something, and his father is praying for higher soul, right?
Yeah.
Higher destination.
Yeah.
But he has to experience that karma because he already did sin, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So how does my prayer help him actually?
So your prayers are your attempt, but it doesn't mean just because we are praying, it doesn't mean the soul definitely gets a higher destination.
Yeah, because the karma will come into picture.
Yes, karma will come into picture, and then soul will have to go through all these 12 yamapuris.
Yeah. How does my prayer help? Nothing, right? It won't help anything, right?
Your prayer helps. It helps little bit, but if that person is so bad and he was a hardcore criminal,
yeah,
definitely he has to.
Yeah,
he has to go through those
so
consequences.
Now, right? My prayer is not now, right?
But if you are sincere, you can help. It depends on your sincerity. Depends on your sincerity.
Yeah, that's what the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Like Hiranyakashipu was so bad, but when the Lord killed him, Hiranyakashipu, and asked Prahlad Maharaj what you want, he just said that he prayed for his father that he should get a good destination, and he was like he got the ultimate destination.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Really.
So it depends on sincerity. Then you can not only liberate one person, but 7 generations, people in the 7 generations before and after, before you and after you.
Oh, that Bhagirada story we can connect in this part. Bhagirada brings the Ganga river and the earth. Their previous generation forefathers are liberated from all these karmas. They gain moksha.
That's a little different. Yeah. Yeah.
That also prayers because of Bhagirada prayers only. Ganga river.
Yeah. I don't know the complete details of that pastime. So do you know the complete story?
Yeah, ఎలా అంటే వాళ్ళ ఆ రాజ్యంలో వానలు ఉండవు, వాళ్ళ ఫాదర్స్ కి మోక్షం రాదు. సో ఒక ఋషి నుంచి తెలుస్తుంది ఎలా అంటే నీ రాజ్యం సుభిక్షంగా ఉండాలి అన్నా నీ ఫోర్ ఫాదర్స్ నుంచి ముక్తి వచ్చి, ఎందుకు వాళ్ళ రాజ్యంలో వాన పడదు అంటే బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దేర్ ఫోర్ ఫాదర్స్ డిడ్ సంథింగ్. Because of that in his thing not he is doing good but nothing is going well. So appudu chepte భగీరథ వెళ్ళి బ్రహ్మదేవుణ్ణి అలా ప్రార్థిస్తే గంగా నది వస్తుంది. అప్పుడు వాళ్ళ ఫోర్ ఫాదర్స్ కి మోక్షం వస్తుంది, వాళ్ళ రాజ్యం సుభిక్షంగా ఉంటది, పంటలన్నీ పండుతాయి అని ఒక చోట విన్నాను.
So yeah, any prayers or sacrifices, fire sacrifices, yajnas, anything that you do, these are all for Loka Kalyan. Okay, so as you said, all the crops will grow nicely, and then everyone will have proper food, and the forefathers will be happy. So yeah, that's the purpose of all sacrifices and prayers. Yeah. Okay, so now the next method of proving the existence of soul. So we discussed 3 so far, right? What are the 3? Intuition, common sense, symptoms. Yeah. Okay. And then the 4th one, near death experience. So has anyone heard of this? Near death experiences.
So there was site some researchers.
People on the call, Mahi, Adya, Tanuka, Sridhar. I'm waking you up all. Are you still there?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Okay, good.
Sorry, what is the question?
Near-death experiences. Have you heard of this? Have you read any articles about this?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, let's see what this is. So this is another method of proving that there is life after death. Probably you're not seeing my screen, right? I'm not sharing. Okay. So near-death experiences, the concept is, so people who, as we can see in this picture, right? A person who is in the hospital on the surgery, the stretcher bed. And then the doctors have concluded that this person has died. There were cases where that person has gone to the next life and got some experience and came back alive into this body.
Same soul and different soul. Same soul.
Same soul. Same soul. I mean, soul is only one. Soul is only one. But he has gone to, he has gone outside the body.
And came back
Yes.
again.
That means he has dead. Okay. He has dead and came back alive.
Does it happen?
Yeah. There were cases. There were cases which were verified and recorded. Yeah, that is near-death experience. So they got an experience of what death is like, all about. And this person who was unconscious, who went away from this body and came back alive. After coming back alive, he explained to the doctors what they were talking when he was dead. Yeah. He was able to explain what the doctors were talking. Now, what do the doctors talk? Okay, there is no hope. It's a time to pull the plug and inform the relatives. So he was able to explain what exactly the doctors and nurses they were talking about.
Well, this is very nice. I can go to India and see my mom and come back again.
No. That is totally different. That is telepathy or something else. That is telepathy or something else. Communicating with a different person.
It's communicating, or I can go and see and come back. No?
You cannot see.
You cannot see.
You can communicate. It happens. Telepathy. You look up Google telepathy. It happens. So, I mean, it's an interesting thing. It happens between my daughter and me.
But he was able to hear, right? But I can hear, like, so if I go to India,
Yeah.
I can hear them, right? What they're saying. But I can't see whatever they're saying. But I can hear them what they're talking about, right?
Being present here, you're saying you can hear.
Yeah.
No, he's saying that his soul can travel, witness what is happening, and come back.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
I can hear at least,
Yogi, maybe there are.
if there are yogis who have mystic powers, siddhis, yeah, then they can do all these things, like teleporting an object from one place to another place, or even traveling.
to other place and come back.
Yeah, traveling through the mind. But hearing, I don't think it's possible.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, hearing, I don't think it's possible. Yeah. So you can travel through your mind and see and get an experience of what it is like. But yeah, hearing, I don't think. Yeah. So near-death experience is this person who is dead. He has gone beyond death, beyond this body, and got an experience of death and came back alive. Okay, that's a proof for existence of life after death. And there are very limited number of cases, not a lot, but very limited number of cases, but they were all proven cases. What's the time now? 12:56. Okay, we'll just finish this and then
He was a normal person.
he was a normal person. Yeah, he was a normal person, not a yogi or does not have any siddhis or yogic processes, mystic powers. And why that happens and to what kind of people it happens, that we will discuss later. But for now, just understand that this person has gone through this near-death NDE experience or OBE, out-of-body experience. As I said, there were very limited number of cases, and even in Bangalore, there is this institute called NIMHANS, National Institute of Mental Health and some organization related to mental health and sciences. So there they have a book of these NDE cases where they have verified cases that happened in India, and they don't happen only in India, right? They happen all over the world. Okay, but they are very limited in number. So that institution in NIMHANS in Bangalore, they have a proof of, they have verified within India, whatever those cases, 100, 200, whatever those cases, they went to their homes and they verified, they talked to those people and they verified those cases. So just like near-death experiences, there is past life memories. So past life memory is from the age of 2.5 or 3 years, a person, the child, is able to remember things from the past life. So there were cases where a child, 2.5 to 3 years child, all of a sudden the child started hugging a pillow and pampering like a child, talking with the pillow like a child. And then there was this case of this lady here that you see in this example. I think her name is Shukla or something. So when she was 2.5 or 3 years, she started taking a pillow in her hands and acting as if she was holding a child. And then one fine day, she asked her father in this current life, she asked her father, Daddy, I want to go to my village. And then she showed the way to the village where that father has never gone there. Okay, she showed the train, which train to take and how to go to that village and which house. She guided the father to go to that particular house where she lived in the past life. And then when they went to that house, she was a little confused with the entrance of the house because they changed after her death in the past life. They changed the entrance of the house. From the front side, they changed the entrance of the house to another direction. So she was a little confused with the entrance of the house, but finally she was able to identify the house. Now, both of them, the child and the father, they went inside the house, and there were 10 or 11 people sitting in the house. And then she directly pointed to one person and said, "That's my husband." 2.5, 3 years old child saying that so and so person is my husband from previous life.
In the first session, you said that before human life comes like a life of a cow, right? So why would she have human memories of her past life?
Now, after cow, there are so many human lives, right?
Yeah.
Human lifetimes.
Oh, lifetimes.
Yeah. So if a person has not achieved perfection in this lifetime, in their bhakti, then they take another life as a human being.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's say you completed 10% in this life. So next life, you take birth as a human, but you start from 11%. Yeah.
But God made to forget the things and start new life, right? That is why He gave new birth, right? But in this case, it's not applicable. Right?
Yeah, that's a question. Why only to certain people? And now, if she is able to remember that person from past life who was her husband, so is that a fortunate? Is that a good thing or bad thing?
Kind of bad.
Kind of bad, right?
Yeah.
Now we might think that, oh, why I am not remembering things from my past life. So actually, it is not a blessing. It's a curse. It's a curse to remember past life. Now imagine, this girl, she went and identified that person as a husband from past life. Now you imagine what goes on in those emotions, and right, there's already another wife there, right?
Right.
Now she's going, this is 2.5-year-old child. She's going identifying that person as a husband.
That person also can't accept this girl as a wife.
Yeah.
Because she is so young.
Yeah. So it's a curse. It's not a blessing. So when we hear this for the first time, we may think, oh, why I'm not remembering things from my past life? But it's actually a curse. Yeah. So both these things, near-death experience and past life memories, they are the proof of life after death. So there was this session happening, Discover Yourself session happening in Bombay about 10 years ago or so. And then one boy, all of a sudden, he got up and said, I'm a case of reincarnation. In the class, there were 100 people or so. And then one boy, all of a sudden, probably 10 years or 11 years, he got up and said, I'm a case of reincarnation. So that means he remembers his past life. And there's an article about it. So an interesting thing that happened in the class, Discover Yourself class, where they were discussing this topic. So both these near-death experience and past life memories are a clear proof for the life after death. Now we have discussed 5 different methods, right, to prove the existence of soul. But still, we don't see the soul, right? Okay, there are different ways to prove the existence of soul, but I don't see the soul. How many more slides? It's already 1. Okay, there are about 30 plus slides. Okay, I think we should postpone it to next class then. Okay, there's a lot more to discuss. We'll postpone it to next class. But before we wrap up, any questions? Any points of reflection, comments, questions? Samit, was that interesting to know about near-death experience and past life? Was it interesting? Little bit. Okay.
Past life గుర్తుంటే మిమ్మల్ని నాన్నగా యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయలేదు.